Hey YouTube, welcome back to GameGenic TCG, and today we are going to jump into the Majin Buu 100% archetype breakdown. You know why? Because we have officially all of the cards. I knew it was going to come any day now, and we are now here. Sorry this video is getting out too late. Like I said, I'm in the process of packing up my house, going through a lot of stuff, so it's been a little rough. But I want to come at it full blast today. I want to let you guys know that on the Patreon, we are still taking entries for the giveaway of the top 64 Vegeta. That'll be given away early August, like soon after I get back from Gen Con, move. Yeah, and then we're going to have this card, this Frieza from the Ultimate Battles, given out in August. So just stay tuned for that. Then on top of that, you know, we're going to be streaming as we can, as we get settled down to the new place, as I'm packing up this one, all that. But with that being said, we're going to jump into this breakdown because we got a lot to go over. And if you want to help support the brand, you can always go over to my GameGenic TV channel, maybe subscribe, like some videos while you're there, help the views go up because I'm trying to get that monetized. That being said, let's hop in to the breakdown. Alright, it's time to get into it, bud. So the first card we have here is Babidi. When attacking, draw one card, and then awakening when you're at 4 or less life. Very, very standard. And then he flips over to Majin Buu. And Majin Buu has a very interesting effect that we're going to have to kind of break down the cards in a different order to be able to fully understand. So, when attacking, draw one card. End of your turn, play up to one battle card with a cost of 2 or less and Wicked Soul or Evil Wizard in their special traits from your hand. So, for you guys that don't know, Wicked Soul is everybody that was given the Majin M from Babidi that he had under his control. Evil Wizard would specifically right now be Babidi or his father Bibidi. So we are going to go through those cards because essentially this is going to be a toolbox. At the end of your turn, you get to play an extra body. This is both balanced and feels a little odd because you're not cheating cards into play during your turn where they could be offensive powerhouses. You're cheating them at the end of your opponent's turn where they have to survive for a full turn in order to be able to impact the board in terms of attack. But that means it's their on-play effects that are going to be the best parts of them because they're going to be slid in at the very end of your turn and they can do their damage or, yeah, lack thereof depending on the card. So, the first card we're going to talk about is this Babidi. This is going to be one of the coolest ones by far, and just, yeah, it's kind of got a nice little floodgate effect. It's a 2-cost card, of course, obviously being cheated off of this. 5k power, 5k combo power, Evil Wizard. Now, these stats do seem a little wild because they're very low, they can easily be removed. However, this card has a barrier, and having barrier means it's going to be immune to 1-drops and also in blue, the Whis in red, hit in red. All the cards that could normally just wipe this guy off the board are not going to be able to touch it. And it says auto once per turn when an opponent's battle card with a cost of 3 attacks to draw a card. Now I know that may seem a little odd. You may be like, okay, well it's only 3, it's not 3 or less. However, that is a fair amount. That means in red, the 3-drop Son Gokus from set 1, the SRs, or the 3-drop Son Gohans from set 2. If U7 as a core comes back, the Keflas, the 3-drop Keflas, you have so many things that'll hit that mark, and we're gonna go over more once we hit like red in this set as well. But when you go into blue, that puts you at the Vegito, that puts you at so many actual things. Little Goten that can swing in Vegeta. In green, not too much. Not too much. You can kind of avoid that with green. However, even in yellow, you have the Raccoons, you have cards even in this deck, you have so many. So this is going to be interesting, and because it has barrier, you can put as many of these on your field as you want, potentially shutting out your opponent from swinging with 3-drops. Because if you put 3 of these guys on board, you know, you play one, you cheat out one, and you look at your opponent, are they really going to want to give you a draw 2 just for swinging 3-drop? The answer is probably no. That sucks. So yeah, just be careful though, because once you put these on the field, I guess the only way you can get rid of them is comboing them for the most part. So you don't want to, or maybe one card we see otherwise. So you don't want to make sure that your opponent kind of hits you with a deck out function, like they just play 3-drop, and then start swinging and hoping you deck out. But this is going to potentially cause a lot of gatekeeping in terms of the flow of your opponent's battle cards. But yeah, we spent a lot of time on this one card, so let's continue. Next, we have another Babidi. This is a 2 This is a 2-cost 5k, 10k combo power. On play, look at the top 5 cards of your deck. Choose up to 1 Majin Buu card or Wicked Soul, or card with Wicked Soul and special traits added to your hand. Place the rest of the deck, or bottom of your deck in the order. This is cool because once you're awakened, you'll be able to cheat out both of these cards. Whether you put this card out to kind of floodgate your opponent, or play this card just to search your top 5 to set up for next turn and potentially keep 10k combo power on board. And actually, I apologize, looking at the Bobbity, he can't be bottom decked by Zamasu unless they already have Vegito on the board, but Vegito is something that could smoke him, except he has Barrier. But yeah, we're going to keep moving on because this is a top 5 searcher. Next, we have Yamu. Nothing really special, this is just your cantrip, but because he has Wicked Soul, you're going to be able to play him out using Majin Buu's effect. So at the very minimum, if you just want to play out a card for 5k combo power for survives and a cantrip, you can do that. Next, 2-drop, you got Spopovich. 20k power, play it at the end of your turn. On play, choose one of your opponent's rest mode battle cards, the cost of 1 or less, and KO it. This isn't really that good. However, if you do rest an opponent's battle card, you can play out Spopovich and then blow it up. And I think that's actually pretty cool. Next, moving on, you've got Pui Pui, 2 cost, 15k power because he's weak. And then no, but you've got 10k combo power, which is nice. Blocker, which is why he has the low power. He's not supposed to attack. On play, choose up to 1 field card with a cost of 2 or less in your opponent's battle area and place it in your owner's drop. Now, I know that doesn't really sound like much yet. However, we've already been over the fact that we have Orange High. You know, we have that card in blue in this set. There may be a card that we get to later in this video that's a 2-cost or less field card. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. There may be a card in black that we get to. There's a lot of stuff that we have to like talk about because this is not the. We're starting to see that when these things sit in effects like this, there's different cards that it combats, you know? Like we already saw, there's a Frieza card. It was spoiled way back. We had to translate it from the Japanese things. It was a field card of 2 or less you put into their trash or their drop, and that was in black. So this card is going to affect a lot of cards, and that's actually really, really cool. So this is going to be something that could in and out of the format depending on what your opponent's playing. If we're not seeing a lot of Majin Buus, why would you put this card in? Because, you know, you're not really having things to target. So this really does depend. But it is cool to know that we have some field destruction we can put in the deck if necessary. Moving on to the next one, we have Yakon. And Yakon is a blocker, and then on play, add up to 1 card from your life to your hand. 15k power, 10k combo power. I'm liking all these 10ks, and it's really cool that we have a blocker that adds a card to your hand. It's basically Zarbon, the repeat, except instead of having 20k power and going in the offensive potentially, he has 10k combo power, 15k power. So you just play this, take a life, and then he can sit there and eat an attack if he needs to. Very, very, very nice meat shield because that's thematic. Then you have this Deborah, and this Deborah looks pretty cool. 2k, 20k power, 5k combo power, blocker again. When blocking, choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards, the cost of 2 or less, switch to rest mode. I know a lot of people have been joking on this card, but this early game will eat up 2 attacks. You know, you block a leader swing. They were 15. They have to combo to get over this, and then on top of that, you can just rest something on their board, potentially a 1-drop, which is neat because then you can play out Spopovich, and Spopovich can just blow it up. That's what this is doing. That is just stuff like that. It's little combo plays, but this can be something pretty cool, and it can stop 2 attacks essentially. And then last but not least, on the cards that you can cheat out, this Vegeta has been shown to be the Ultimate Battle promo. For wave 2, and it's a 2-cost 20k 5 combo power card. On play, choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards, switch it to rest mode. Now the cool part about this is that yes, you can play him and turn something to rest mode, easy peasy, but you can also play him at the end phase and put something to rest mode in your opponent's field. And with this very next card, we're going to be able to fully talk about what a combo like this can do. So the next card, it's 2 cost, it's called Bobbity Spaceship. Auto your turn once per turn. When your Bobbity in your battle card, or your battle card Wicked Soul and its special traits are played, choose up to 1 of your opponent's rest mode battle cards with a cost of 4 or less and switch it to active mode during your opponent's turn. Okay? And yeah, I can't switch to active mode during your opponent's turn. So that's pretty cool because when cards are getting their effects at simultaneous times in this game, you can choose the order. So if I, at the end of my turn, right, play out Vegeta, this promo Vegeta, he's going to come into play, and I'm going to have 2 activations that I can choose the order of. One of them is Vegeta turning something to rest mode. The other one is Bobbity Spaceship. So I can activate Vegeta's effect, turn something to rest mode, right? And after turning something to rest mode that's 4 or less, I can then activate this effect. Since I played my Vegeta, I can choose that same card and it can't turn to active mode, taking something off the board essentially. So that's actually really cool, and I like that combo play. And yes, you can use this whenever something comes into play on your side of the board at the end of your turn for Majin Buu. But my favorite part about this is that. And you can also do this just as a main effect. You could just play Vegeta for 2 in your turn and do that. But I just like how you can also just do it randomly. Well, do it out of nowhere at the end of your turn and really catch your opponent off guard. So with that being said, real quick, we are going to go to a sponsor message, and then we will be right back to finish the rest of this archetype and give you my thoughts on it. All right, y'all, taking a quick moment to shout out the sponsors for this video. First up is Mystic TCG, a store based in Missouri that sells all sorts of TCG product, even more than what you see featured here on this page. They also buy singles, collections, and prize cards, so make sure you actually catch them out in their store in Missouri at an event, or even on their Facebook, just to be able to see the events here, but also ask them what they're up to and what they're looking for in terms of vending. You can also use the code UNIXTCG to get discounts off your pre-orders as well as orders, so make sure you get your TCG product while it's hot. Then you have Eclipse Cards and Hobby based out of Texas, and if that sounds familiar, they did sponsor me with a box of Fusion World Set 1. But as you can see on this page, there is a plethora of TCG products that they are actually having for sale at their establishment. You can also even buy things that aren't just TCG products. As you can see on the screen right here, they hold their own locals, they hold their own events, and they are going out to more and more events. You can actually check their Facebook to see their schedule, as well as call and ask about their vending list. And at the checkout for their website, you can use the code UNI10X to actually get percentages off your pre-orders or your orders. So go check it out as well. And we're always up to all sorts of things in Universe X, so you can go down the description and check the link tree to find out about my other channels, my Twitch, or any other avenues that I'm creating content on. But if you want to go the extra mile, you can always go down to any description on any video and find my Amazon affiliate links. These products here will differ from video to video to cater to the audience in question, but it's just very easy to see something that you may like or be interested in, open it up, and choose the style and or color that'll work for you. All proceeds will give kickbacks to the channel, so it'll be some direct support, and I'll always appreciate the help from you guys. So with that being said, let's get back to the video. Yeah, I definitely have some of the best sponsors, not gonna lie. So with that, I just want to let you guys know that if I'm monetized by the time October hits around on UniXDB, I'll be giving away 2 copies of Sparking Zero to the console of the winner's choices. So just go over there, support the channel. I really want to get that off the ground. I'm putting up videos on there when I can, how I can, and yeah, it'd be much appreciated. But let's get back to the content. Okay, so now that we got over how the leader cheats out these wicked souls and evil wizards, and as well as the field card that goes in conjunction with that, we got to talk about the other cards that bring this deck together. Card number 1, we've got Deborah. Now this is a 3-drop 20k 5k combo power. On play, add up to 1 card from your life to your hand, then play 1 battle card with 2 or less in Wicked Soul and its special traits from your hand, because this guy is the Wicked Soul General, you know what I'm saying? But the cool thing is, you get to play him, and then you get to take a life and then cheat a card into board. So it's going to be a neg-1, but you're adding 2 bodies on board, and that's classic yellow aggression. On turn 3, you'll be able to add 2 slings, making a total of 3 slings, and if you've already gotten, you attacked once, and then you played out a 2-cost Self-Awakener like Yakon, and then you play out Deborah and you take another card, and then you play out like another Yakon or something like that, that's you awaken on turn 3. So that's a very cool thing right there. I do want to note that it does have Demon Realm Race, which is funny because soon we will have Daima cards, and if you guys don't know, Daima is going to be focusing on the Demon Realm, and so you don't know if this is going to have synergy with something else, or they're going to make like a yellow Daima deck and then you can play, this card in it, things like that. You never know. So it's just stuff that you should pay attention to in the future, and if you want more stuff about Daima, I'm going to make a video on my UniXDB channel soon. So hey. Then moving on to the next card, we've got this Majin Buu Pure Evil. He's a 3-cost 20k 5k power, critical. When attacking, choose one of your opponent's battle cards, switch to rest mode. So far, I'm missing the synergy that this deck can play out this card, but a 20k critical that also has a when attacking effect is actually pretty ballin'. Yes, it costs 3, but at the same time, just choosing one of your opponent's battle cards, switching to rest mode is pretty tight. And in this deck, you could play a card like this, put some critical pressure, tap something, and at the end of your turn, play an evil, play a Wicked Soul, and then use your field card to keep it tapped. So, things to remember. Now we're on to SRs. We've seen this SR, we've seen both SRs, but this is Majin Buu. He's got barrier, and when he's KO'd, you discard a card from your hand, play this card from your drop in rest mode. The thing is though, we've been around the block a lot of yellow. Doesn't necessarily have consistent draw. You have cards like Bulma that'll replenish your hand if they can survive, but Bulmas don't have barrier. They are very easy to get off the board. And so in a deck like this, using this card too many times could potentially drain out your hand. But if you ever feel like you can't protect it, you just keep it up. And the other thing though is if you attack with this guy, anytime your opponent is about to, you know, if your opponent swings for 5 over, drop a 5k. If your opponent swings for like 10, 20 over for some reason, just let it go and then use the effect to bring it back. This is a very strong card because just like Majin Buu, it has almost infinite regeneration and it'll stick on the field. It does this better than Zamasu does. Like, this is crazy. Now, but it only does work for KO'd, which is fair. Same with Zamasu, but yeah. So blue will have a field day. Red can, actually blue does not have a field day. I apologize, I almost got out of pocket here. Barrier is a really big card here because so far in this game, nothing gets around barrier. All these, even the board wipe effects in this game currently say choose all. So you can't choose this card, and because of that, this card is gonna be incredibly sticky. It does really have infinite regeneration pretty much. Now, moving on to this next one, we've got Majin Vegeta. It's just gonna say Vegeta. But Sand, Wicked Soul, 4 cost, 25k power, which is a little low for a 4 cost depending, but that's where the effect comes in. Activate main once per turn, choose up to one of your opponent's rest mode battle cards with a cost of 3 or less and KO it, then switch this card to active mode. So there are lots of cool combo plays. You have the field card in, at the end of your turn you cheat in the 20k Majin Vegeta, you tap something down, you keep it tapped, and then on your next turn, you know, you tap 4 for Majin Vegeta, you attack for 25k for the pressure, activate this ability, pop that rest mode card to get it off the field permanently, and then switch this card to active mode to be able to attack with it again or keep it up. This is a pretty cool card. I think 4 is a little bit of a ask, but this card is going to go into so many decks. The part I like about this is that, like, in decks like Vegeta, you're going to be able to do so much with this guy. Being able to, like, I'm talking about Blue Vegeta, or Vegeta Blue in set 2. You're going to be able to, like, play this card, get a swing in, pop something, untap it, and even though it's a 4 cost, you're going to be able to untap 2 of your energy, so that's going to be a really big plus. Love that, love that. Then we're going to move over to extras. We've got Papa, and this is a 2 cost active main. Switch one of your Bobby battle cards to rest mode. Choose up to 1 or 2 of your battle cards with a cost of 4 or less and Wicked Soul in their special traits. Switch them to active mode. This is pretty powerful. Yeah, I wouldn't really recommend getting the barrier one to rest, but you can always put the top 5 searcher to rest and then untap 2 of your cards, and that's going to be very, very strong. Since it's 4 or less in Wicked Soul, you can untap like things like your Majin Vegeta. You can untap things like your 3-drop Bobbity, but any of the 2 drops will work because of their 20k stat lines for the most part. So realistically, you would be untapping, you would hope to be untapping Vegeta or tier 20ks, but this is going to be how this deck kind of simulates that 20k yellow spam. Next card, we got Turn Into Candy. 1 cost. I actually really like this. Activate main, KO one of your battle cards. If your leader is Majin Buu, draw 2 cards. So you have to be awakened to use this. However, activate battle at any time. Choose your leader up to one of your battle cards, gains plus 15k power. So this is one of those cards where you're definitely gonna have to play it and see if it works, because you have to be awakened to get its draw effect. However, getting rid of a useless card to draw 2 is more than good enough. Being able to be like, okay, this is plus 15k if I need it, or if it's dead, it's never dead because I will just pop this Yakon that no longer serves me, this Pui that no longer serves me. I'm gonna draw 2 cards. So I really dig this card, and I really hope that it works when it finally does get tested. Next card we have Energy Absorption, and that's the Yamu looking super swole. 1 cost, activate main, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards, switch it to rest mode, and it can't be switched to active mode. And it can't switch to active mode during your opponent's next turn. Then if that card has a cost of 4 or more, draw a card. This is actually crazy, because if your opponent chose not to attack with something, like if they left their Broly up because they didn't want that second swing going through and having yellow tap it down like normal, this card will punish that. There's going to be a lot of applications to where this card can work well. However, this card is also probably going to force your opponent to go, screw it, I'm just going to have to turn everything sideways because I can't risk this card just coming in, giving them a draw to replace it while locking down my card. But I think this is a pretty cool card, and I'm digging it. I'm digging it for what it does. Next, and next we got the Sealed Majin. 1 cost, activate battle, choose your leader or up to one of your battle cards against plus 10k power for the battle. Then that card gains plus 5k power for the battle for each Wicked Soul and its special traits in your battle area. This is, I'm not gonna hold you. Lots of the Wicked Soul cards are not sticky. They are at a perfect cost and power to be removed extremely easily. And this card literally is a 15k with 1 card on the board, and it can go much higher. So we'll have to see. Like if we find out later that this deck just has some huge scoring potential, like you're just between playing cards on your turn and cheating them into play with Majin Buu, you just have so many on the board, doesn't matter, then that's a cool thing. However, at the same point, the vibes I get is that without something major in deck building, something super spicy in deck building, we're gonna see a point where you are literally putting out cards from your turn, and then you're cheating out cards from your hand, leading to an extremely small hand, leading to a point where a single rogue Beerus could potentially wipe your entire board out. And yes, there are cards we can play to stop this. We can play 3-drop Vegeta, see what's up, but there aren't too many 1-drops in this deck. You're gonna have to play the Bulmas yourself. This is gonna be a very interesting deck because how many evil or Wicked Souls you're gonna play is gonna have a huge part in what you do here. So we're gonna have to see how we splice it with other yellow. But right now, this card looks like it might be too iffy to use for me. And then last but not least, we got Final Explosion. 3 cost, activate main, choose all of your opponent's battle cards, the cost of 3 or less, and switch them to rest mode. Very nice. Then choose up to 2 of your opponent's rest mode battle cards, the cost of 4 or less, and KO them. This is finally something good. And on top of that, hey boys in red, you're probably not gonna like this, but this might be the end of Frost. This might be the end of Frost stopping yellow. I will gladly get rid of 3 energy to blow up Frost and another card and keep it pushing. So Final Explosion is very good. And now that you guys have heard everything coming in this set for yellow for this deck specifically, we are going to move and talk about what I think about the Majin Buu. Okay, so we're going to go over what I feel about this Majin Buu deck. Realistically, I'm not gonna hold you. I think the leader is a little odd. He flips over to the Majin Buu and you're cheating in things at the end of your turn, and that's cool and all. However, some of these cards are just so low impact, off the tip, like just like off the tip of my tongue, thinking about these things. The putting in the Bobbity that is like kind of like a draw when the 3 costs happen. That's probably one of the best things you can do because it's going to ensure that you get more cards at a certain stage of the game or keep aggro off you because they can't remove it and they don't want to give you cards. You can put in the 1-drop, but that's nothing too special. The Spopovich destroying a 1-cost rest thing, that kind of is jank. You have Yamu, or so you have Pui Pui that's going to destroy a field card. That really is format dependent. You have Yakon that's going to add a card from your life to your hand, and he's a blocker. Him being a blocker is cool, but his stats are abysmal, being a 2-cost 15k card that's not really going to do much. And on top of it not doing much, adding 1 card from your life to your hand is useless after you awaken. So cheating him into play kind of sucks there. Deborah being cheated into play is probably good. He's okay. He can attack, he can block and tap something down. He's gonna stop some of these go wide strategies that employ a bunch of 2Ks, but he's not that stellar. The best thing you can really cheat into play is the Majin Vegeta that is going to only really be great with the field card that can keep what he tapped down. And I think that's kind of a weird point, you know? Now, the other thing to note is that the Majin Buu is going to, or the Majin Vegeta is going to combo very well with energy absorption because Majin Buu doesn't have a cost restraint. So you can tap something down and then you can energy absorption to keep it down and draw a card. But again, if this deck got popular, people are just going to not keep cards in active mode because they don't want you to be able to profit off of them like this. So that's going to be weird on its own. The other thing that I am kind of bleh with is that the field card only touches 4 or less, which is kind of fair, kind of not fair. It's going to make it a little hard for you to profit off of these payoffs because once people, like especially green gets over a certain threshold, they're probably just going to run all over this. Now, the cool thing about the field card is it's Evil Wizard, so it does give a little more credence to Sealed Majin because you can have the Bobby Spaceship always on there. So even just one battle card, Sealed Majin, is going to be a plus 20k. And this may actually be enough to consider running it. But then you move over to cards like Deborah, which will cheat a 2-cost into play, and most 2-costs with Wicked Soul just don't do anything. Like I said, you can cheat into Vegeta, and that's pretty cool. But otherwise, a lot of them just don't do much. Cheating or playing Deborah to play Yakon is pretty cool because you're essentially going -0 your Self-Awakening 2, and that could be just your Awakening turn right there. If you got attacked once, played Self-Awakening on turn 2. So I like that. Majin Buu and Vegeta are just generically good yellow SRs that don't actually have any real synergy with the deck. They can't be played out with Majin Buu, and they can't really, like, there's a lot of things they don't do. Vegeta can be untapped with Pada, but Majin Buu himself cannot. So realistically, I see these cards just being slotted into other yellow decks before I see them just being crucial and lifting the Majin Buu deck. So overall, same with Final Explosion, mind you. So overall, the issue that I'm having is that a lot of these cards don't really stand out to me. I don't currently see a reason to be playing, this leader over Vegeta, over Frieza. In fact, the best cards that in this deck, I think, the Majin, or the Babidi, that's like gonna get you a card every time somebody swings the 3-drop. The Vegeta, that's a 2-drop that'll do those things. That'll tap the things, the promo. The Majin Buu SR, the Vegeta SR, the Final Explosion. These are all cards that are just gonna do what they want to do regardless in any yellow deck. They are just as good as any yellow deck, and I don't think that Majin Buu is a better leader than yellow Vegeta or yellow Frieza. So we're going to have to see. But yeah, let me know in the comments how you feel, what you think, and if you think that this is a correct assessment. I will be rapid fire shooting these videos off so you guys will not have any shortage of content. Like I said, I'm struggling in life right now, but we are going to bring it to the dome now that set 3 is fully revealed, and I hope you guys are here for the ride. Thank you guys. I will see you guys next time. Make sure that you stay tuned for the channel, get that notification bell ready, because we will be putting out the content here. Thanks, and I will see you at Gen Con in about a week, guys. Later.